If you're thinking about buying a home or selling a home in the Charlotte, North Carolina region, then you need to know your data. Today, we're diving into the numbers, trends, and key takeaways from the 2024 housing market in the Charlotte region. Grab a cup of coffee and let's talk smart about real estate. The Charlotte market's 2024 outlook stayed positive, but there's no denying that it was a year of adjustment. With mortgage rates fluctuating between the 6% and 7% range, buyers and sellers played a game of wait and see, creating some flux. As we look ahead, stabilizing mortgage rates could be the key to unlocking a more predictable market in 2025. But first, let's break down the highlights from 2024. We started the year with a bit of optimism. Inventory was on the rise nationally, and mortgage rates had dipped to the mid 6% range by the end of 2023. However, the critical spring and summer selling seasons saw rates hovering around 7%, which put the brakes on buyer activity in the Charlotte region. At the start of 2024, we had a critically low supply of inventory. But as seller activity increased throughout the year, inventory grew to 8,000 listings by mid-year, matching levels we hadn't seen in quite a while. By year's end, we still had 8,100 active listings and 2.3 months supply of inventory, a sign that supply growth had stalled. Despite these challenges, the Charlotte region saw an increase of 12% in new listings and over 41,800 closed sales in 2024. Pending sales were up 1.5% year over year, with 42,200 contracts signed by year end. Let's take a quick look at some quick facts about the 2024 market here in the Charlotte area. The first stat we're going to take a look at is new listings. Now you'll see that new listings went up in 2024 after going down for the last couple years. We had 54,833 new listings, which was, like I said, a 12% increase. But that was a definite change from the last few years where we went negative. Now, it might be interesting to know the top 5 areas with the change in new listings from 2023 were Fort Mill with an increase of 28.5%, Lincolnton with an increase of 24%, Anson County with an increase of 21.5%, Matthews with an increase of 20.4%, and Montgomery County with a 20.2% increase. What you might take note of in these 5 areas is that none of them except one is in Mecklenburg County. Fort Mill is down south of the border in South Carolina. Lincolnton is northwest of Charlotte. Anson County is going to be east of Charlotte. Montgomery County is really east of Charlotte. It's going to be over near east of Albemarle and south of Asheboro. And then this leaves Matthews, which Matthews is in Mecklenburg County, and it is the closest area to Charlotte. So that should give you an idea of where the homes are kind of expanding, where population is expanding in the area. Next up, let's look at closed sales. We did have a couple years of declining closed sales, so having a slight increase is really promising. Lots of experts believe that 2025 is going to be even more of an increase, potentially even going back to numbers from several years ago. So we're going to look at that later. Once again, let's take a look at the top 5 areas that had a change in closed sales. So these are the top 5 areas that had closings in 2024. So we had Statesville with an increase of 13.1%, Gastonia with an increase of 11.7%, Iredell County with an increase of 9.8%, Fort Mill 9.6% increase, and Davidson 8.9% increase. So that gives you again an idea of where these closings came from, where people were moving and selling homes in 2024. Next up, we'll take a look at pending sales, and this is again going to show a slight increase from 2023 to 2024, but overall looking at the previous numbers, we did have a decrease for 2 years in a row, and now 2023, 2024, they looked relatively similar. Top 5 areas changing in pending sales: Fort Mill with 13% increase, Gastonia with 11.5% increase, Statesville 8.3% increase, Matthews shows up on the list again at 7.9% increase, and Iredell County 7.6% increase. As far as prices, the median sales price increased in 2024 3.5% to $392,007. This was after a slight decrease in 2023. Typically, when you're looking at prices in real estate, you tend to see prices increase between 4 and 5% every year. We have definitely seen some crazy astronomical numbers following the pandemic, and those numbers are kind of evening out now, kind of getting to a balance, getting back to a new normal. And I think 3.5% was a really decent price increase from 2023, considering how fast prices went up in the past couple years. Of course, let's go ahead and take a look at the top 5 areas that had that change in median sales price. And that is going to be Montgomery County, Cornelius, Fort Mill, Statesville, and Lincolnton. You can see those numbers here. Now, this really shows you that in these 5 areas, and if you want to know what the other areas are, what's beyond the top 5, reach out to me. I would love to give you some information about that. But it really shows you the areas that had a much larger price increase from 2023. And you'll notice that these are all going to be spreading out from city center, from Charlotte itself. And of course, we've got to look at average sales price as well. The average sales price never did hit a negative or a stagnant number. And in fact, they increased 6.8% this year to $493,487. Again, this is taking the entire Charlotte region into account. So please keep in mind, Charlotte is a huge area and real estate is hyper local. So you do have to really factor in what area you're thinking about moving to and look at those numbers specifically if you're considering a relocation. By the way, let me take a quick moment to remind you that I am a real estate agent here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So if you are thinking about buying, selling, relocating, I would absolutely love to help you on your journey. Now let's dive back into these numbers. So once again, let's take a look at the top 5 areas of change. They are going to be Anson County, Lake Wylie, Matthews, Alexander County, and Salisbury. These increases in price highlight how steady demand and low supply continue to drive prices upward. One major takeaway from 2024 was how sensitive buyers were to the changing mortgage rates. Rates hit their highest point in May at 7.22%, but by September, they had dropped to 6.08%, the lowest of the year. Each time rates dipped into the 6% range, buyer activity surged. Example, when these rates dropped to 6.08% in September, closed sales increased in October and November. We saw similar spikes in July when rates dropped from 7.2% down to 6.7%. Clearly, the 6% range is the sweet spot for many buyers. Now let's talk about sellers. While it's still a seller's market, it's not as aggressive as in previous years. Price reductions were up 42% in November compared to last year as sellers struggled to price homes for a shifting market. By December, sellers were receiving about 95.1% of their original asking price, down from 96.3% in December 2023. One bright spot has been the condo and townhome market. Inventory for townhomes rose 49% year over year in December, while condo inventory grew by 57%. These property types are giving buyers more options in a tight market for single-family homes. Looking ahead to 2025, Charlotte was just ranked number 2 on the National Association of Realtors top 10 list of hot markets. So why exactly is that? Basically, it is affordability compared to other regions, a healthy job market, and a strong local economic growth. NAR predicts mortgage rates will stabilize around 6%, which should bring more buyers back into the market. They also expect a 2% increase in home prices and improved inventory levels, thanks to new construction and more homeowners listing properties. And it's not just NAR. Zillow has us at number 7 in their top 10. Ta-da! And Realtor.com has us at number 14 in their top 25 list. According to data from HUD and the National Association of Realtors, home sales increased after 9 of the last 11 presidential elections. Typically, the housing market experiences a temporary slowdown in the months leading up to an election, followed by a rebound once the uncertainty diminishes. If patterns hold true, 2025 could see a notable uptick in home sales. Current forecasts support this, with 2024 estimates closing in at 4.6 million home sales nationally, and projections for 2025 rising to 5.2 million, which is actually similar to the numbers from 2022. This aligns with the historical trend of post-election recovery as the market stabilizes and resumes normal activity. So here are my key takeaways from the 2024 year in review. First off, the Charlotte market remains resilient even though inventory is tight. Secondly, mortgage rates in the 6% range are a game changer for buyers. Number 3, townhomes and condos are a good option for people who may be priced out of the single-family home market. And last but not least, 2025 will have an increase in both closed sales and sales prices if trends continue as expected. If you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, or relocating in 2025, let's connect. My goal is to help you navigate this market with confidence. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so that you never miss an update. See you next time on Living in Charlotte, NC. Bye for now.